On Saturday, July 16, 2022, eligible voters in Osun State, southwest of Nigeria, will be going to the polls again to elect the governor who will pilot the affairs of the state for the next 4 years. As the build-up continues, the electoral umpire INEC seeks the confidence of the people for an acceptable, credible election in the state. Panorama focuses on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC's preparedness towards conducting a fair and transparent election come July 16th in Osun State. Welcome to Panorama, reaching you from Ibadan on the network service of the NTA. I am Lanre Du. President Muhammadu Buhari says fiscal policies that are not only favorable and predictable, but tilted towards achieving harmonious business environment awaits potential investors willing to explore the vast opportunities that abound in Nigeria. This was in Lisbon while granting audience to a number of Portuguese companies willing to expand their investments in Nigeria. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the report.
First to be granted audience by President Muhammadu Buhari is the Executive Vice President of Gulf Energy Company, Rodrigo Villanova. Gulf Trading, as they are called, is a Portuguese multinational energy corporation engaged in every aspect of the oil and natural gas supply, hydrocarbon exploration and production, refining and trading.
They are a major off-taker of our gas. They purchase up to 60% of our LNG. They are interested in increasing the level of trade between their company and Nigeria, especially not only in the gas industry but also in other products from Nigeria. Mr. President was happy with them and he said Nigeria is interested in cooperating with them. They are aware we are about to embark on 27 of the LNG, and that will give scope for more gas to be sold to Europe.
The founder and chief executive officer of 5,000 Miles, Pedro Hipólito, also came calling. 5,000 Miles is a foreign direct investment facilitation company.
The founder calls it a Portuguese-Nigerian company because it's an international company with Nigerian shareholders working on bringing in investors into Nigeria, especially from Portugal. They've been working hard to cross-match and introduce investors who are interested in investing in Nigeria from Portugal.
Similarly, President Buhari received the executive members of a Portuguese consortium, Inventor, one of the largest intellectual property players operating in several regions of the world. The company, now focusing on Africa, wants to have a formidable local presence in Nigeria.
They are interested in building the intellectual property business in Nigeria. They're working with law firms in Nigeria with a view to increasing the level of registrations for trademarks and willing to train Nigerians to bring them up to international standard with regards to intellectual property. I had to thank Mr. President especially for the encouragement he's been giving our ministry. Mr. President is very interested in diversifying our economy away from oil, and this visit has shown that there is a very large prospect for this diversification. People have expressed a lot of interest of coming to invest in Nigeria.
The minister promised necessary follow-up by officials of the Industry, Trade and Investment Ministry towards ensuring that agreements reached yield desired results. From Lisbon, Portugal, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
As a further demonstration of the respect and enormous goodwill President Muhammadu Buhari enjoys in Portugal, as well as high esteem in which he is being held by Portuguese, the mayor of Lisbon has formally presented to him the key of honor to the ancient city. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports.
Established 1,200 years before Christ, Lisbon is one of the oldest cities in the world and the second oldest European capital city after Athens. President Muhammadu Buhari is the first Nigerian leader to formally pay a state visit to the Portuguese capital, and for the mayor of the city, Carlos Moedas, it is an honor well cherished and valued. Indeed, the joy of the mayor knows no bounds as he guided President Muhammadu Buhari and his delegation on tour of the mayoral seat of power, referred to as the City Town Hall. There he performed the symbolic presentation of the key of honor to the city of Lisbon to the Nigerian leader.
Portugal and Nigeria have an important cultural, historical, political and diplomatic ties. You are a great nation. President Obama once said about you that you strived to overcome division and turn Nigeria diversity into a source of strength. So you were able to build the largest economy in Africa. I so much agree with that. So we want to work with you. We want to work with your innovators. Lisbon's objective is to be the capital of innovation of Europe. But for that, we need you. We need the African continent. We need to work with you peer to peer.
President Buhari was full of appreciation to the mayor for the honor done to him, describing it as a reflection of the cordial relations existing between Nigeria and Portugal.
Nigeria, like Portugal, has many unique historic and cultural assets, as well as a developing hospitality industry, which both countries can exploit to promote tourism. We are ready to extend our bilateral trade beyond oil and gas. We are also keen to establish a direct air link between our two countries to further stimulate tourism, people-to-people contact, and social, sporting, and cultural relations.
The President formally appreciated the City Council for the excellent manner in which Nigerians are being accommodated in Lisbon, including those fleeing the war in Ukraine. And as the presidential state visit to Portugal draws to an end, some members of the Nigerian delegation have been speaking on its gains so far, and indeed the low-hanging fruits.
It brings about a win-win situation between Nigeria on one hand and Portugal on the other, and I'm so much impressed when I have met with their officials, including the Prime Minister of the country, to discuss about partnership, collaboration and support in building our digital economy, particularly supporting our talent development, digital startups and many more.
We supply about 60% of the gas to Portugal, which supplies their energy needs. And there's a demand from Portugal for more of our gas. NNPC was able to showcase what they're doing, which showcase their plans for the two different gas pipelines, the Trans-West Africa one all the way to Morocco, and the Trans-Sahara one to Algeria. And there's a lot of interest in these two projects.
Both Nigeria and Portugal are expected to, in the next 1 week, put together an implementation committee of 6 to draw an action plan towards achieving maximum benefits from the agreement signed by both countries. From Lisbon, Portugal, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the Federal Ministry of Transportation, the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA), and all stakeholders in the maritime industry on the successful berthing of the first ship at Lekki Deep Sea Port. The vessel Zenhua 28 delivered 3 ships to shores and 10 rubber tire grantees cranes that will help in the evacuation of cargoes from vessels to the shores. The president says his approval of 4 seaports, including Lekki Deep Sea Port, is inch towards growing the economy, creating massive job opportunities, foreign investment inflow, and trade facilitation. He commends the staff and management in the nation's maritime sector who are working round the clock to make the operationalization of the Lekki deep sea port before the end of the year a reality, reassuring of his commitment to sustaining investments in these new assets. The Nigerian Navy has reiterated its commitment to stem illegal business transactions on waterways across the country. Commander NNS Victory Calabar, Commodore Ifeanyi Opala, said this while handing over documents of 6 suspects and 677 drums of petroleum motor spirit apprehended during the patrol of the operatives to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Cross River State. Command.
The arrest of 6 suspects with 3 wooden boats and 677 drums of illegal suspected premium motor spirit seized by operatives of the Nigerian Navy was made possible through the routine patrol of the force on the 13th of June 2022. While handing over documents of the suspect and seized items to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, a representative of the NNS Victory Calabar noted that the arrest was made along Ikang-Bakassi waterways.
And in relation to an operation that was launched 3 months ago by the Nigerian Navy called Operation Dakata de Barao. It was during such patrols that these criminals were intercepted along Ikang Channel. From intelligence, I think the products are being smuggled out from Ikang to the neighboring country of Cameroon.
We're going to do a preliminary investigation and to know the next step to take. 6 suspects, they will definitely be charged to court, and the court will do that which it needs to do.
The security agency, however, commended the Nigerian Navy for its efforts at ensuring that criminal activities are reduced in the nation's waterways and affirmed its synergy in curbing crimes. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTN News.
Stand Up Nigeria, a non-governmental organization, is advising independent petroleum marketers not to hoard petrol but complement government's efforts in making the product available. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Long queues have persisted in Abuja in recent, causing loss of man-hours and increase in transport fares.
Oh, it has been a terrible experience actually.
Everybody is struggling up and down before I can get fuel.
Few vendors taking undue advantage of the situation to make brisk business with consumers at the receiving end.
So you can be on a queue for hours without even getting fuel. And the black marketers are just fixing price the way they want.
Stand Up Nigeria movement, a civil society organization, is concerned about the role of marketers of petroleum products, alleging that hoarding is largely responsible for the present fuel crisis.
And we will not allow them to frustrate the good work of Mr. President to restructure the NNPC and to give dividends of democracy to Nigerians.
The organization is planning a civil society situation room to monitor situation at filling stations and inform Nigerians about government's efforts towards ending the situation. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
Panorama continues after this break. Stay with us.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has assured Nigerians of free, fair and credible governorship election in Osun State come July 16. INEC National Commissioner supervising Osun State, Professor Kunle Ajayi, stated this at a pre-election preparation technical workshop for electoral officers and management of the commission in Osun State. Femi Afariugun has the details.
Following the successes recorded at the Ekiti governorship election, all attention is now shifted to Osun State for July 16 governorship election gradually approaching. The workshop, which is part of the pre-election activities for electoral officers, assistant electoral officers and management of INEC in Osun, is to fine-tune last-minute plans for the governorship election.
We can improve as we plan ahead. Our ultimate goal is how to surpass the achievement recorded in the Ekiti governorship election.
The National Commissioner supervising Osun, Professor Kunle Ajayi, is optimistic that the training of electoral officers on the use of bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) will be a game changer in Osun election.
With BVAS, nobody can rig election again. It's not possible with that election. So we must teach our staff how to manage it, how to use it.
The EOs are expected to bring up policies, because they are at the field and we want to have their own, view of things.
15 candidates will be jostling for votes from the 3,763 polling units across the 30 local government areas of the state. Inoshobo Femi Afariugun, NTA News.
In this special interview segment, INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in Osun State, Professor Gani Raji, highlights the activities of the Commission in the build-up to the Osun election.
What is ready and what is not ready, so that we understand if INEC is really prepared.
Thank you very much. I'll tell you that we are fully prepared because all the non-sensitive materials that we will need for the election, we are in possession of that now. In fact, up to as simple as maps have been delivered to us. That's the ad hoc staff we use at our registration area camps. What is left for us to receive as far as materials concerned the sensitive materials which ordinarily comes 2 days to the election. Then we have commenced trainings for all the ad hoc staff, the major ad hoc staff, the UCOM members who are going to handle our devices and the machines, and they are really coping and enjoying the training. Very soon the senior ad hoc staff, the supervisory presiding officer, coalition officer and the returning officers will be trained 2 weeks to the exam. They are more of a supervisory nature than the people that will handle the materials. So their training usually is a very short one. We have also started extended our sensitization and voter education. It has become a little bit more comprehensive. At least about 3 to 6 jingles are played or relayed on the media every day. All radio stations and all the television stations in Osun State. So at least a minimum of 4 hours in a day. Somebody somewhere, wherever in Osun State, will hear a message or have been hearing a message from INEC, and that will continue until the day of election. So,
stakeholders in Kwara North Senatorial District of Kwara State are appealing to the federal government to establish a military base in the area to check the rising cases of kidnapping and banditry in Maritime and Kaimaya local government areas. Kende Omolosho reports.
Abduction and kidnappings have also been on the increase, with ransom paid in many cases to secure the release of victims. The North Central Zone, where Kwara State belongs, is also now becoming infested with armed bandits and kidnappers. This growing threat to lives and property in the state, particularly in Baruti and Kayama local government areas, was raised by Senator Sadiq Umar at the plenary.
On 2nd May, a tractor driver in Kwara area was attacked. He was brought down from his tractor and he was killed. Then on 6th June, one person was targeted. He was supposed to be a leader of the vigilante. In fact, they got to him and mercilessly killed him. They pieces him. Then on 7th June, 4 people were kidnapped again at Kwara village. They are still in captivity. The latest, on 13th June, one Muhammad Ali Jolodi of Sabofili, that's in Banabe Ward, was gruesomely murdered.
That Kanji Lake, thick forest that cut across from Barugu local government to Kayama local government to Barute local government was taking charge of that place. It has become so fortified with criminals.
Ahmed Idris, a retired soldier, is the Borosoru of Bobo. He laments a growing threat to the people of the area.
It is so obvious that the security problem is a great issue that we need to tackle.
What then is the way out?
If they know that there's a superior military power around that corner, they'll be careful not to come and attack our people in the community.
This forest, the forest that we have across board between the Niger State and Kwara, it does not help at this critical time.
Many lives across the country have been lost to terrorism and banditry, mostly in the northeast and northwest in the last 3 months. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Media practitioners have been advised to prioritize their health and live a healthy lifestyle. The Medical Director, Federal Medical Center, Abuja, Ogun State, Professor Adewale Musa Olowu, gave the advice at a free medical outreach organized by the hospital for journalists in Ogun State. Yemi Dalimo reports.
Sharing his medical expertise, Professor Adewale Musa Olowu says FMC Abeokuta, as part of its medical outreach programs, decided to bring the facility to the doorstep of Ogun State journalists due to the busy nature of their members so that they can be healthy in performing their duties as expected. He advised journalists to keep themselves away from a sedentary lifestyle, avoid high salt intake, alcohol and cigarette smoking, as such lifestyle constitutes a risk factor for cancer.
Journalists can get loose into their profession and they forget to check their health, and that's why we are organizing this to call the attention to it, that it is necessary that as they walk up and down, it's a work that is very stressful. They must ensure that is they take some time out to check their well-being.
The medical team offered free consultation, testing for fast blood sugar and random blood sugar test, blood pressure check with free drugs to journalists.
A number of us have been given clean bill of health, and we have been advised to watch our lifestyles, and that is very important.
We don't have time to visit hospitals or health centers for checkups and so on.
So for FMC to have brought this here, it's commendable.
The FMC medical director, who promised to sustain the free medical outreach for journalists in Ogun State annually, also urged the federal government to declare a state of emergency on energy in health institutions for effective management of the institutions. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Update with Olumide Eguntola.
Nigeria's The Tigers continue its quest to pick one of the tickets to FIBA World Cup with a date with their counterpart from Mali Saturday. At the time of this report, the Tigers showed high level of commitment, having lost the first game 70 to 79 points to Cape Verde. In grassroots tennis, sustaining the exploit of the Junior Tennis Championship to win laurels at continental and international tournaments requires combining sport with education. This, the academy says, is being encouraged among young players.
There are a lot of sports lovers who want to use the rest of their lives, their retired life, to serve sports, but they need to be encouraged, and this will bring them in because this is going directly to the athletes.
When you develop and support the youth,
who are the future of this country, then we are doing something right.
In another news, Nigerian Olympic gold medalist Chioma Ajunwa has once again cautioned sportsmen against the use of drugs.
We must make sure they know what they take.
At an event at the National Stadium, Lagos, tagged School Anti-Drug Campaign Initiative, the Olympic gold medalist reminded the students of the dangers of engaging in illicit drugs and other social vices which have negative effects on their careers. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, NT News.
Joining us on Panorama today from Ibadan Zonal Center of the Network Service of the NTA. Remember to connect with the NTA. Stand against rape and rapists. Good afternoon.